Well, the only positive thing to talk about, really, in the city, as per the Leafs and Raptors, or Leafs, Raptors, Jays, Raptors win 108-98 over the Washington Wizards. And what we saw today, the Raptors digging in defensively. I mean, they played a great game all around, holding the Wizards to under 100 points. Holding the Wizards to 41% shooting. They were 5 of 26 from 3. 19% from 3. The Raptors did a great job on their closeouts beyond the arc. And the big thing today, Jonas Valanciunas actually gets fourth quarter minutes, and he works it. JV ends the game 14 points, 13 rebounds. You could also say Gortat with 10 points, 12 rebounds. But JV, plus 19 while he's on the floor. He's working it. I loved his play today. He was a really grinded out type of guy today. I loved it. Looking at the rebounding stage, that was the only big problem we look at here, guys. You look at the turnover situation, it was kind of sorted out today. We only saw 10 turnovers. That's more like it. You take care of the ball, look what happens. Now, the rebounding thing was abysmal. The Raptors did get out-rebounded a ton. Rebounds were 50-35 in favor of the Wizards. 14-6 on the offensive glass. That cannot happen in Washington because those teams at home will burn you. 26 assists for the Raptors in the last game. They only had 19. There you go, the big number of 25 assists plus. They got the job done today. 9 steals to their 6. 5 blocks to their 4. The Raptors dug in hard today. Again, not a lot of Serge Ibaka, only 3 points on 1 of 3 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3 and a minus while he was on the floor, but he only played 23 minutes. OG didn't get a lot going, 1 of 4 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3, and only 3 points in 22 minutes. Again, but it was the defense early on that OG really brought to the table. And he was terrific. Kyle Lowry, 17 points, guys. 7 of 13 shooting. 3 of 6 from 3, plus 11 on the floor. And he had a double-double. 10 assists as well. I thought Kyle had a great game today. The way he was working, he also had 3 steals in the game as well. He was working it defensively. I was just really impressed with Kyle in this one. And DeMar DeRozan, guys, that is more like Debo. None of that 10 of 29 garbage. 32 points, 5 assists on 12 of 24 shooting, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 3 of 4 from 3, and a plus 15 while he was on the floor. DeLon Wright, the main guy off the bench. We talked about him in the last video, guys. CJ Miles and DeLon Wright really didn't do a lot in the last game, and the bench really didn't do anything. Well, DeLon Wright came off the bench and added 18 points, 6 of 10 shooting, 4 of 4 from the line, 2 of 2 from 3, and a plus 13 on the floor. CJ Miles, as much as he didn't shoot the ball that well, was a plus 12 while he was on the floor. It's not all about the shots. It's the defense they bring. As much as CJ and DeMar are not known to be defensive-minded guys, and that their plus-minus looked great today, that could have been the other guys on the floor as well. But the Raptors, they take care of business at home, and that is not our problem. If you guys listened to the podcast yesterday, Evan and I were talking about, great, we're not worried about Game 5. We have a feeling we're going to win that game, and we did. But it's the Game 6 in Washington that we're like, hey, Raptors, play your game. I mean, don't turn the ball over. The rebounding category might be a little lopsided in favor of them. Play your hard defense. Make your wide open shots. And you'll win the game. Look what happens when you take care of the ball. The Raptors had a lot of points off of their turnovers. They had 15 turnovers to our 10. Tonight was more of a Raptor type of feel for the entire season kind of thing, right? This is more like what we're used to. But now you got to do it on the road. And I'm going to continue to say that because they haven't proven it yet. Out of the last 18 road games in the playoffs, they're 4-14. It's great that you're 37-7 at home, regular season and playoffs combined this year. That's great. And if we lose Game 6, we'll come back for 7. I don't want to have to come back for 7. We shouldn't have to. This series should be over on Friday night in Washington. But you do realize they are going to come out and be desperate. They're going to come out and check up a ton of shots. They're going to be active all over the place. You know, Bradley Beal, we've seen at home, has been on fire. On the road, not so much. He was 8 of 20 from the field today. Minus 14 on the floor, only 20 points for him. But it's keeping guys like Otto Porter, you know, and Markieff Morris and Mike Scott, keeping those guys cool. As you know, I remember Mike Scott in I think it was the first game. He had 20-something points, or it was something along those lines. He had a great game 1 or game 2. Game 1 he had 20. No, game 1 he had 14. Game 2 he had 20. Game 3 he had 12. And game 4 he had only like 4 points. But I mean, today they held him to 7 in 14 minutes on 3 of 5 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3. He's still a great player. But for the Raptors, you take care of business. And you got to win in Washington, Game 6. I mean, Raptor fans, I bet you every single Raptor fan is watching this game and watching the result and like, okay, we're happy we got the win. That's fantastic. Should we be more ecstatic? Probably. But Game 6 is what really matters for this team, what matters to the fan base. If the Raptors come out and they beat the Wizards, Toronto will have a different feel. I can guarantee you that. They come back and they win Game 7, great. We move on to round 2, that's fantastic. But it's the feel of this first series that's kind of iffy. All right? But I'm proud of these guys for the way they played today. I'm not going to take anything away from this Raptor team today. They played their heart out. They shot the ball with great efficiency, 46% from the field, but 44% from 3, 11 of 25. And they've kind of gone away over the last couple of games. They've kind of gone away from the whole 35 three-point attempts. You know, the Raptors took one of the most amount of threes this season amongst any other team. We only shoot 25 today, but you're 11 of 25 for a great percentage, and you get these wide open looks, and they make their shots. That's what really matters. I'm proud of these guys for digging in. And hey, Coach Gacy, bud. It's why you play JV in the fourth. We talked about it in the last video. He only played, like 15 minutes and didn't touch the floor in the fourth, and the Raptors caved in. Today he's out there for the fourth, and they push ahead. You look at the first quarter, guys, Raptors were stuck 1 after 1. They were +1 at the half. It was even after 3 quarters. They put JV out there in the fourth. I'm not saying he did everything out there, but 29-20 in favor of the Raptors in that fourth quarter to come away with that victory. Tells you what JV's presence on the floor does for you. And I love it. Now, Jakob Poeltl wasn't really the greatest today. I mean, he did have 9 points, 3 boards. Siakam didn't play a lot, but he did his job when he needed to. Look, we love it. We love the victory. It was an emotional game. DeLon Wright was on fire. But we know what's next. We know what we got to do. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys enjoyed this game. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below. What you guys think of this game? Who's your MVP? Would you give it to DeMar for the big night? Would you give it to Kyle for the double-double? Would you give it to JV, who obviously, like we know, had a big night, also had a steal and a couple assists, a steal and a couple blocks as well. He had a great night. Would you give it to him? Would you give it to DeLon Wright, who had 18 off the bench? I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I will talk to you guys whenever I'm uploading the Leafs, season review and off-season preview. I'll keep you guys posted on that. We'll talk to you guys Blue Jays edition tomorrow as the Jays look for the series win against Chris Sale. Marco Estrada, 7:07, excuse me. First pitch at the Rogers Center as the Jays look to win the series. And as for the Raptors, they look to win their series, as we've been talking about in the entire video. Game 6 in Washington, Friday night. Wizards, Raptors. I mean, my goodness. You know, it's a to be determined time. I'm gonna guess it's like 8 o'clock or something. That's my assumption there. But we'll talk to you guys then, hoping for a series win and a ticket to round 2 against either Cleveland or Indiana. Cleveland won today, so they're up 3-2, but you never know. So we'll talk to you guys then.